corner is excellent. Takes it at quite a high rate of speed without swaying or losing control. A very responsive feeling.
It feels like a heavy car, but handles like a smaller one.
You know, I'm very impressed. Just driving down the straightaway here, it seems to hold the center of the line of the road well. You don't have to fight to keep it on course. This is the kind of driving I like.
I really like the car. I like the lines of it, I like the comfort, and I like the handling. Very impressed with the handling.
I can't get over the responsiveness of this six-cylinder engine.
This is just really exciting to drive.
This car is super balanced, very well balanced.
It's sporty, and it's extremely futuristic looking outside, where a younger guy might walk in and say, hey, that's a sports car, that's not a luxury car at all, until he gets inside the car and realizes what we've done with it.
What we're doing today is having a ride and drive.
In the fall of 1982, 8 Ford salespeople from across the country were brought to Michigan for a chance to drive and compare the new Ford Thunderbird before it was introduced to the public. Peter Pateris, an independent automotive consultant from Massachusetts, was brought in to act as group leader for the ride and drive activity and to moderate the discussion that followed. The salespeople were asked to evaluate the cars in 9 categories. Exterior appearance, including styling, trim, and fit and finish. Interior packaging, including decor, instrumentation, and appearance. Occupant comfort, both seating comfort and roominess. Acceleration, both from a standing start and passing. Steering, including effort, road feel, and drift. Vehicle ride over a number of different surfaces. Interior environment, including noise levels, ventilation, and visibility. Ease of parking. And finally, trunk space, including size, ease of accessibility, and appearance. Each salesperson drove and carefully inspected each car, rating them on a scale of 1 to 10 in each category.
What we're going to do now is take a look at the results of yesterday's evaluation and go down the evaluation checklist. Let's start with exterior appearance. 9 for Thunderbird, Monte Carlo, a much weaker 6, Supreme a little bit better than Monte Carlo at 7.3. How about that evaluation? Why do you think that happened? Adam?
The Cutlass and the Monte Carlo is just, it's a boxy, it's a yesterday style. And with the Thunderbird, you've got the sleek, the roundness, the low drag coefficient to make it aerodynamically sound, the formal doors that open up into the roof. It just got an appearance that's futuristic and something that we're going to be innovative on.
It's just sleek, it's just smooth.
It didn't seem like the Thunderbird was built panel by panel. It was built as a whole car. Where the Monte Carlo, it seemed like when they built the car and then they threw in the right-hand mirror and the left-hand mirror, they looked like they were added on, where the Thunderbird's remote control mirrors are so sleek, they just look like they belong with the car.
Body side moldings too are wrapped completely around the car, which again gives it the complete single unit look. The Monte Carlo, for instance, on the chrome rocker panel moldings, are very large. They look like they're almost covering something up instead of design.
I think an interesting point to bring out, Pete, is that the standard exterior finish of the car is very complete, whereas the Monte Carlo and the Supreme, it seemed like there was just like a lot of, in order to get a nice exterior, you've got to get their exterior decor groups.
I think what you're saying there is that you have to spend a lot of money with the Monte Carlo on the exterior of it and the Cutlass, where on the Thunderbird, it's all standard. It's right there. You don't have to get the exterior packages, the decor packages and everything.
The Cutlass, as popular as it's been, is really overdone. You know, it's overkill now at this point. It's been out too many years with that same look. The Thunderbird's totally new.
Well, Monte Carlo, to me, was just a very plain Jane, as we say in the business, a plain Jane automobile. It didn't have anything exciting about it. Nothing has really been changed in that car, and I think that's the problem with the car.
Well, let's move to interior packaging. You brought that up. The Thunderbird, again, rated high, a little bit lower than the exterior. The Cutlass moved up a little bit, so there's less of a gap. And again, the Monte Carlo was low.
Pete, I think the first thing that I noticed was on the Monte Carlo and the Cutlass, you have that old standard one-piece solid plastic dashboard with everything just set into it, where the T-Bird has an interior that looks like the cockpit of an airplane. It's different, it's attractive, it's appealing. You just enjoy the car.
Another nice feature of the interior is the accessibility of the controls. You don't even have to reach out from your seat to lean forward of the dash. You got your electric seats on your console, your dual mirrors. Really, the only thing you have to reach forward for is the automatic tuning on the radio to push your button. Everything else is fingertip control, from your windshield wipers to your turn signals, your horn.
The Cutlass gave me the Impala image. I don't know why it gave me, but the dashboard did. The whole car just gave me the Impala image that's been around since '72. And of course, this particular car has been around since what? 70? They downsized it in '78, I think it was.
Why did the occupant comfort rate so low on the General Motors cars?
Roominess doesn't necessarily mean comfort. Noticed in both driving and riding the Monte Carlo or the Cutlass, you turn a corner, you'd slide across the seat. The Thunderbird, you actually fit right into the seat, and the comfort was much better with the Thunderbird.
The quality of the seat also was much better in the Thunderbird, I felt.
They are saying or taunting the General Motors cars as being 6-passenger cars when they're really not. We tried to get 6 people in one yesterday and was really, really cramped. 6 adults can't ride in it comfortably. Ford is not trying to pull the wool over anybody's eyes. It's a 4-passenger car, and the emphasis has been put on 4-passenger comfort. The 4 passengers that are in there are very comfortable, as opposed to trying to stick an extra person in the front or the back where they don't belong and they're not going to be comfortable.
But you can tell that the car was designed from the inside out, and I have no problems in being proud that it's a 4-passenger car and being sold as a 4-passenger car versus other 5- and 6-passenger cars in this market.
Moving down to cargo area. This was the major deficiency that we noted if the ratings hold. 6.5 for Thunderbird, 7.8 for Monte Carlo, 8.1 for Cutlass. What are we going to do about that if that is a deficiency?
I know I gave both the Monte Carlo and the Cutlass a 10 for the cargo area, and did not do as highly on the cargo area for the Thunderbird. And as far as opening a trunk and seeing the roominess, that's fine if that's what a person wants to buy a car for. But the finished-off appearance of the Thunderbird will more than offset the roominess of the other 2 trunks.
Cargo area was more than just the size or the cubic foot of it. Part of it was the looks. The Thunderbird by far was finished off, had a very complete dressed-up appearance to it. The competition, the Monte Carlo and the Cutlass Supreme, looked like an old trunk where you'd throw a spare tire in there and that would be its only purpose.
I don't think it's going to be a major factor in the buying decision of the customer. I don't think you ought to play this aspect of the car up. Show the ease of accessibility, show how it's trimmed out, and then move along. Don't make a problem for yourself with the size of this car.
The second part of the discussion centered around the actual test drives of the 3 cars. For the purposes of the comparison, the cars were tested with their base engines. In each case, a 3.8-liter V6. They were also equipped with standard suspensions, and in each case, power steering and power brakes were also standard.
No, it does not handle anything like the T-Bird.
But listen to into the passing gear. You can hear that engine just screaming.
How does it feel in this turn?
Real loose. Not nearly as smooth as the Thunderbird.
I noticed
A lot
quite
of drift.
Exactly. A lot of drift there in that turn.
It isn't the Monte Carlo it used to be years ago, that's for sure.
Now, the Thunderbird is very, very much more responsive than this car.
So much more precise.
There's more swing on the curves. There seems to be more bottoming out when you hit bumps.
Here we go. Now we hear a lot of engine, but I don't feel as much acceleration as we had with the T-Bird.
And as far as the ride is concerned, I'm feeling every little bump in the road. There's a big difference between the two cars, a real big difference.
Okay, now let's move on to the results of the ride and drive portion of the evaluation. Acceleration, steering, vehicle ride, interior environment, and parking. Let's start out with number 4 here, acceleration. It rated quite high, 8.6 as compared to Monte Carlo and Cutlass.
I think what the Thunderbird has over the Monte Carlo and the Cutlass is that little extra that the American public has grown to expect. I think that the extra get up and go, the extra ump from a standstill is really what people like to have, but they also like to have the EPA mileage ratings along with it. And I think Thunderbird will give us both of those.
It's nice to know you have that pickup there available if you need it.
Didn't you all notice that going up those hills, and once the Monte Carlo and the Supreme kicked into passing gear, that it sounded like the engine was just screaming. It was like it's at its top RPM, and it was really noisy. I found that.
I couldn't believe how the T-Bird could accelerate the way it did, as well as going uphill and around a corner at the same time.
Yeah.
When the acceleration was needed with the Thunderbird is very smooth. The Monte Carlo especially seemed to chatter or jump a little bit.
It shifted nicely, too. Our car
when you get up
shifted
to
very
the
When
nicely.
you're underpowered getting on and off a major expressway or highway, that's when a customer says this car doesn't have enough power, and our car does.
How would you rate the steering on both of these?
You can be the meekest little old lady and still have plenty of strength to drive the T-Bird. You can turn a corner with one finger. We were going through S-turns, just using one finger, which you shouldn't do when you're driving, but we were testing the maneuverability of the car.
There's where the sports car feeling came in with the
Yes.
Thunderbird. It had the feeling and the cornering when you're going around a corner. Where the Monte Carlo, again, it's not a sports car, where the Thunderbird is a combination of a sports car and the luxury car that maybe the Cutlass is. W.E. and I took a ride in the Cutlass and the Monte Carlo, and we really went through some tough curves there, and it just lost it. It felt like the tires were coming right out from underneath it, and it was just wheel hopping where the Thunderbird performed very, very nice.
There isn't the oversteer in the Thunderbird that there is in the Cutlass and the Monte Carlo. You make a sharp turn, is going through the S-turns, and it immediately returns to center, and consequently when you turn the other way.
Exactly. You don't have that big counter sway when you steer. It feels like the car goes one way, then when you come back, the car's still over there, and you got to pull it back again.
We were taking those S-turns with one hand, which is not a safe practice, I grant you, but we did it, and it was just fantastic. That really excited me. The other thing was the quietness of the ride and the smoothness of the ride. I think these gas-filled struts and shocks really do make a difference. I was a little apprehensive about that, too. You got to show me and prove to me something really works. But I did feel the difference. There definitely is a difference. A lot snugger and tighter in the turns, a lot more sure-footed than it was last year or anything we've had. It handles like a GT package on a Mustang. It's that close. I mean, it was really fantastic.
Okay, acceleration, steering, you got a little bit into the vehicle ride. Let's look at the ratings here. 8.7, really low 5.6 for Monte Carlo, 6.5 for Cutlass Supreme.
You know, the Monte Carlo and the Cutlass, I think, are nice riding cars. I think we're really trying to really destroy these two cars in this discussion. But I think, again, we're going back to they're not comparable on cornering. As far as the ride itself is concerned, I found that the Cutlass was a very nice riding car on a straightaway, and that's basically what the car is. It's a road car, highway car.
Okay, interior environment. 8 on the T-Bird, again, a much lower 6.2, but let's look at the Cutlass Supreme. Didn't do badly, 7.2.
I think the fact that Ford over the years has always put emphasis on the quiet Ford ride is important for the fact that Thunderbird, in the tradition of Ford, has followed right in their footsteps in that it does have the quiet Ford ride that we've all expected.
I like the overall comfort. We were riding with the windows closed, and it was nice and quiet. We could go on a smooth surface, or I even went over manholes just to see the reaction of the car, and the noise level in the T-Bird was outstanding.
Let's move on to the parking evaluation.
The Thunderbird had the advantage of seeing over the hood much easier, advantage in the visibility department, and that's why I rated it higher.
I also parked the Thunderbird, and the visibility is a definite plus factor.
I think its overall size would be advantageous to parking situations.
How about the competition? I think earlier Steve had mentioned the Cimarron was a possibility. Maybe some of the European imports Don had mentioned. Who is the competition?
I think the car will really compete with a lot of higher priced cars like a Porsche. It's a sporty car like that, like a Mercedes, a Cadillac Cimarron. The car's got as much class as all of them.
I think there were people we lost that went to Buick Rivieras and Olds Tornados. And I think we'll see those people coming back into our dealerships.
I think this car is going to cut its own niche in the market, and the people are going to be selling against us with their products. They're going to try to be playing catch-up, or we've got the car, and we're going to be the leader on that with this car.
I agree with you. You're not going to get in the bring in the economy-minded Escort buyers and your smaller Datsuns, and you're not going to bring in your big Cadillac and Lincoln owners. But everything in between, I think you're going to see all the way through, from foreign, domestic, and Japanese and European, all the way through. It's going to bring them all in between those two classes.
I think it's going to broaden an age group as well, where the younger people weren't leaning towards the T-Bird because it was too big of a sport car, where now it's a classy sport car that even the younger people are going to want to drive.
And if the guy mentions a Camaro, or I had a Camaro before, if he pulled up in a Camaro or something like that, or he pulled up in a Mustang, or whatever the case may be, go after that particular image that he's got. If the guy comes up in a Thunderbird or a Cutlass or whatever he pulls up in, maybe he likes that particular style car. So you can adjust your qualifying and your selling technique to the customer comes in the door.
I think the looks of the Thunderbird will sell itself. The question probably left in the customer's mind at that point is, can such a sharp-looking car, a smaller-looking car, ride well? And again, the key to answering that question is to go on a demo ride with the customer, and the demo ride will satisfy that argument.
You take away a little bit from the Z28, the Camaro Firebird market.
You get that turbo, and they'll throw rocks at that Z28.
Better believe it.
I think a market that I sell a lot in Texas is the older market, the family that the nest is empty now. The children have left. They're all in college. They're all married or whatever. The little bit older adults want a personal-sized car, and this really will appeal to them, I think.
What are you going to tell the other salespeople when you get back to the dealership?
Do the demo ride. That's one of the most basic, as we all know, ingredients in selling anything, but the demo ride is important on this car because I had the feeling, and as I said before, I'm kind of tall, and I had the feeling that that car was made for me.
The important thing is to get the customer to drive the car, and that'll help us sell the car to make it easier to do our job.
I think we've got to go back to basics. We've got to sell the vehicle first. They have to like the car, show them what it has to offer, give them a demo ride, and let the car sell itself from that point on. I think price should be a secondary situation instead of what we've been doing in this past few years. I think we ought to go back to basics and start selling the vehicle because it's going to sell itself.
I'm not going to tell them anything. Then I can sell them all for myself.
Was there anything that really surprised you? Think about that, because we had conversations on the telephone. What surprised you?
Because of the black and white pictures I had seen of the car, I really was not crazy about the styling.
The car was much better than I anticipated.
Definitely.
The last couple of years, the Thunderbird has not had the handling that we have wanted. This car does. Whether it's the gas-filled shocks and struts, it doesn't matter to me the fact that it does have that handling.
But it was nice as we drove up in the van yesterday. all of us had the same exact feeling come over us, like, look at that car, it's gorgeous.
All
And I
at the
can-
same
It
time.
was all at the same time. It was, you know,
With
just
a
so
car like that,
spontaneous.
Ford has done their job. They'll get customers into my office, and then I can do my thing.
I really think this is the start of something new for both us as salespeople and for Ford Motor Company in general. The thing I liked best about the car was my first impression of the car. The minute I saw it, I liked it, and I think everyone that sees the new Thunderbird will feel the same way. It looks like no other Ford we've ever had before. It's really something new and exciting.
A sporty car with a lot of class. I like the sleek design and the comfort ride.
It's a new car, something brand new that I haven't seen or been accustomed to selling before. And I think it's a product that's highly sellable. It has tremendous eye appeal. It has tremendous responsiveness, and the acceleration just blew me away. And I think the handling on this car is unparalleled in anything in its class.